So next up, we're going to talk about CVs. You're going to be working on your CV throughout your last year, and hopefully before your last 8 years even started, you've got a good CV to get going. This is at your kind of awkward stage between your professional CV and your part-time CV. In a way, they should both interlink. You should be able to link your part-time CV to situations involving clients, involving natural situations. So if you're working at a coffee place, you can figure out there's a specific customer that wants a specific thing, or you can change it to, you can adapt the situation to seem more technical or to seem more business oriented for the role you're going for. There's many situations throughout your time now where you should be thinking, hey, that's a time I could put on my CV because I changed something, I did a problem solve, I fixed something that was broken without being asked, etc, etc, etc. So essentially, if you are in work and you find yourself fixing a broken soap dispenser, for example, that's one of the things I put through. There was a spring on a smoke dispenser that was broken. I could then put that on my CV and put it in for job interviews and be like, hey, I've managed to use my problem solving skills to figure out this specific task. The thing about CVs as well, there's no perfect CV. So other CV gurus may tell you there's a specific way to do your CV, so you need to line everything up nicely, you need to have dates here, you need to have X, Y, Z. You don't need any of that. My CV in that regard was very subpar. It was very poorly laid out, compared to what a job guru would tell you. There is a perfect way of doing it in the sense that there's a scannable CV. So if you're hoping your CV is like the first thing that's coming across somebody's desk, they've got 1,000 CVs, they just go, no, yes. There's a myth behind 6-second CVs, and that's the role behind the scannable perfect CV, if you will. So the perfect CV should show off your skills and experience within 6 seconds, and it should be lined up and arranged in that sense. My personal CV that I did for grad jobs wasn't. So honestly, I don't necessarily believe there is such a necessity for a perfect CV anymore, especially now with all the online tests you do, all the online interviews. You're going to be doing video interviews and you're going to be doing stuff just to accompany your CV. So in general, I would say the CV isn't as important as what it used to be, but you still have to have clear expectations, achievements, what you've done, and if you can get any sort of like internships or any sort of like short-term work in larger industries, that would help you significantly as well. So if you've not quite got to your four-year stage yet, look for opportunities for summer in which you can apply for roles within the technical trades, technical industries, and get those on your CV. Because the contents in the CVs are more important now than the layout and the structure. The layout and structure are good for companies that are solely hiring off the CV, but that's very rare nowadays, as I say. Like, it's very unlikely somebody's going to read hundreds of CVs now, as opposed to getting them to do an online quiz and then quickly factoring out who's worthy and who's not worthy, essentially. So when you're quickly factoring out, you're doing tests, you're doing mathematics, basically just to prove you can do a good level of mathematics in the role. The point of the CV is not to impress someone with your life. You're not looking to tell them your dog, your cat, your sister, your brother. They don't care about any of that. They care about what jobs you've done, what you can do, and what you can bring to the table. Everyone can spot their unique individual self that has their own experiences, their own mindset, and that's what you are uniquely identifiable as. Because you are one person, you are not a big squid of people, so use your own independence to try and tailor your CV to the best possible role and the best possible job applications you can. Because if you can bring some individuality to yourself as you're going for these roles and these competitive spots, then that will help you stand out among the crowd. Contrary to all this, I will offer CV tips that I've learned recently, because recently, as I've been learning more and more about the job coaching process, there are some CV tips that are better for sort of like boomers, if you will, some of the older banker managers who still want to see your CV, still want to work through that process. There are some steps and some layouts that are required for them almost. So for that reason, I will still go through that, and I've tailored my CV since to go along that same system. To when I'm future applying for roles, I can also be in that mindset of the old boomer managers will understand my CV and they won't be too taken off by my personal profile with all my dog and cat information on it. At the end of the day, it's not about being perfect, it's about being readable and understandable, and hopefully that is your gateway into getting a one-on-one interview or even a phone interview with somebody, because that is really where you want to shine.